Hello, I am Darshit Patel, founder and Chief Scientific Officer of Decode Age. When we talk about aging for an individual, it is completely subjective. Some might feel it later, but some might feel it earlier. But the real problem comes when we talk about the population aging. If you see, a lot of global developed countries and leaders are facing this crisis quite imminently. For example, Japan. Japan had a very large aging population currently, and they are facing the difficulties that come with it, like healthcare burden or the economic crisis. Just like that, even US is kind of preparing it for it because they have learned from the Japan example. You can also find countries like UK who already have a longevity advisory committee within their government because they also see aging as an imminent problem for the demography. And just like that, you can see Israel, you can see in Asia also, there is Singapore, there is Hong Kong, and there is South Korea that are actively taking steps to manage their cities aging, and they have programs for elderly care as well. Why are they looking forward for this? Because they see this, that in the next 15 to 20 coming years, when the entire population will age and a higher population will be unable to work, the burden will come on the younger population. This is the reason why these countries are completely dedicated to solving this problem in their respective geographies. Now, extrapolating to what we have seen in the global world and comparing it to India, we see some very important trends. The first is that Indian lifespan is constantly increasing. If we see from 1960s to 2020, we have come from average lifespan of 40 to average lifespan of 69. At the same time, our fertility rates have gone from 6 children per fertile woman to less than 2 children per fertile woman in today's date. When you put both the graphs together, what do you see? You will see that in the near future, India's median age, which is 28 right now, is going to increase to 42 by the year 2040. When this happens, a country has more and more people who are facing with chronic diseases. The healthcare burden is evidently going to increase. The second problem that comes with it is the compulsory retirement age that we have in India. Imagine if the average age of an Indian is 42 and if above 58 most of the people are retired, that means most of the people are depending on the younger population. There is something we call dependency ratio in the demography, and this is what is going to increase for India. All this together is going to create a scenario where there will be both healthcare and economic problems along with the social and welfare problems. We should already have started preparing for it, but we have not, because we can definitely see that specific doctors who care for older generations in a country, like the gerontologist, even research that helps the elderly people like biogerontologist. Then there is age technology where they develop gadgets and applications and digital technology where the elderly can be helped with such kind of gadgets. All the three sectors we are definitely falling behind. While we are talking about this, there is completely a big scenario that we are missing out, that is the longevity studies. The art, the science of keeping people more vital, healthier for a longer period of time such that they can contribute in whatever capacity that they could. If we don't focus on it today, then we are definitely going to see what other countries have already seen. I think it's time to learn rather than just watch. Now this is the current Indian scenario. What is happening is, as our average lifespan is increasing in India, at the same time there is an important chronic disease incidence rate which is also increasing. That is worrisome, because today in India an average age to get hypertension is around 28 years only. Average age to get diabetes is around 36 years only, and average age to get any cardiac disease that may be staying with you for your entire life is around 40 to 42. These are quite young ages and these are quite serious diseases. When both of them go together, the health span is going to decrease, and then no one will talk about lifespan because there will be no health left in the life. Since we already are talking about the aging population and the geriatric problems in India, let me address, or let me coin a very important metaphor that has been recently used to describe this situation, which is the silver tsunami. Sounds quite ugly, but it actually is just a lot of older people dominating the population of a particular country, bringing with it the inevitable and the most worst demographic scenario that includes chronic diseases, healthcare burden, and economic stress. All these three termed together with an aging population is what a silver tsunami is. It's just a big wave of old people coming into the country and taking their share, taking their dependency. The story of Decode Age starts a bit back in 2018 when I was in Edinburgh and I listened to this one lecture by Nobel Prize winner Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn. The lecture was on telomeres, for what she won the Nobel Prize itself, and telomeres got me interested in longevity. These little thread-like structures at the end of DNA decides how long your cell is going to live and how young and healthy is it going to live. Well, if it can happen at the cellular level, I thought it could happen at the organism level as well. I thought I was the first one to think it, but no. A lot of research along these lines have already been done. When I got deeper and deeper into longevity, I understood that there is beyond telomeres, there is mitochondrial dysfunction and the genomic instability and the epigenetics. All of these are involved, and people are doing what not to prevent the chronic diseases and aging itself. Would you believe it when I say that most of the scientists today consider aging as a disease, even World Health Organization? When you start considering something as a disease, you start curing it or preventing it. And that's what the world is doing. That's what India needed. So, when I come back during the pandemic, it is difficult for an Indian to grasp it. But it is our job to make them understand, because this is going to be one of the most beneficial steps they will take in their lives. Our products, that is ranging from the bioenzymes. Just imagine, you have something in your body which your body produced for first 20-25 years, but now it cannot. Is why you are feeling that effects of after age. If we just restore them in your body, you'll start feeling like you were feeling in the first 25 years of your life. And that is what the clinical trials have said as well. While the current products that we offer is purely meant to prevent the aging process, or rather slow it down, the next steps will be integrating more and more P's. That is, the first P was preventive, the second P will be predictive. For a healthy health span and a healthy longevity or healthy aging, it's not just about preventing, it's first about predicting what's happening in your body. How are those diseases developing? What is going wrong at the cellular level? For that, you need predictive tests. Our first one, that is the gut microbiome, will be based on purely all the organisms living inside your gut. While we achieve that with the prediction, we need the third P from your side, that is participation. An individual needs to understand what they are doing to their biology in everyday case, rather than just giving off prescriptions to pharmacy that they themselves cannot read. So third P, participation, is where we need you. And when all these three P's get together, we come down to the last P, that is the personalization. That is the preventive, predictive, participation finally brings us the personalization, where we curate plans for you based on what your biology goals are and based on how healthy and long that you want to live in your life.